Welcome back to NewsWire here on SportsGrid. Olympic action, of course, underway. Lots of folks going to be watching it this weekend. And, certainly soccer, basketball, those are the top sports going right now. And then, of course, a lot of other sports, which are really hard to decipher, some of them included. But to talk about all of that and more, we owe the pleasure. Carlan Gay is back with us here from Sporting News. It feels like it's been a little bit. Carlan's just so busy at Sporting News covering everything, but he has carved out some time today and tomorrow for his wisdom and expertise here on the show. Carlan, it is great to catch up with you. How have you been?
I hope you missed me because you're going to get your fill of me over the next couple of weeks here. It looks like we're going to be together for a little while here over the next 2 weeks.
Okay, good. Well, your picks are usually really good, so don't let me down here. Let's get started here with Team USA. Let's just call it what it is, man. That exhibition season, I don't care what the record is, it did not go well for them at the end. They needed this guy, LeBron James, to just come on strong in the end and win. And I don't know how many times I've been down this road, Carlan. It's like they always say, but when the real thing starts, the light goes on. That's not always the case. Team USA takes on Serbia. We know who's on the Serbia side. It's a one-man show there. You know who the one-man show is, by the way. I don't need to say his name. We'll jinx it. 180.5 is the total. Team USA, the line is dropped. They were 14, 15 points. It's down to 12.5. So that is the million-dollar question, Carlan. Does Team USA turn it on for this game one, or is it going to be what we saw over the last week or so?
Yeah, it is going to be interesting, and you hit the nail right on the head. Yes, they went undefeated in the pre-tournament games. Yes, the record is all that matters at the end of the day for most that are playing the games, but the eye test also matters, right? They did not look good in getting to that perfect record at the end of things. And, you expect that, really. When you're bringing in alpha dogs, when you're bringing in the best player on the best teams of the NBA to come together on one team, it looks like what we saw in the pre-tournament games, right? Joel Embiid looks out of place. He looks like a player that, hey, if the system is not built around him, he's not going to find a way to manipulate the game or impact the game in any other way. And he just looked like a complete loss out there. Had some, I saw him getting on a bus. People were asking him to give his passport back. Like, he's going to hear it if he does not step up his game down the line. And this is a perfect matchup for someone like him to go up against his nemesis in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. You just mentioned it, right? He is the guy for Serbia, 3-time MVP, probably stole one from Nikola Jokic, honestly, a couple of years ago. And he's going to have to go out there and prove and earn his spot on this team because guess what? Anthony Davis is playing behind him, and he played great in the pre-tournament games. Bam Adebayo is playing behind him. He also played really well coming off the bench for Team USA in those pre-tournament games. If Joel Embiid doesn't show up, he might be coming off the bench going forward for the rest of the tournament. But I will say this, they are going to cover the spread, in game number one. They are going to cover that spread, so go out and bet it because I said it. But I do think that this tournament is all going to be about how Steve Kerr coaches this team. And we're really going to find out if Steve Kerr is one of the best coaches of all time. We know what he's done in the NBA. We know what he's done with the Golden State Warriors. The rings speak for itself, right? But that was a very talented team that he sort of had a head start on. This is a different scenario. In FIBA ball, you don't just have to coach egos, right? It's egos and X's and O's. There's 12 other teams that are out there that are coming to this, these games against Team USA where it is game 7 for them. It is the NBA Finals for them. Just one win against America at the Olympic Games, it is huge for that country, even if they go no further than that. So Steve Kerr's going to have his work cut out for him. And the way he's coached in the pre-tournament games, I don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to get away without a loss going forward in the Olympics.
Now you know why we like having Carlan on the show. All right, so now let's take a look at the odds to win outside of Team USA. So who is the threat, Carlan? I know Team Canada, a lot of people feel like they're going to win several games in the Olympics. You also have France, who's pretty good. Serbia, let's be real here. Serbia has the same odds as France and close to Canada because of one guy, and it's Jokic, and that's it. So if he gets neutralized at all, I don't know that Serbia is even nearly as good as Germany or even Greece. But is it 3 teams? Is it 4 teams that have a chance outside of the U.S. to win the gold, or is there some sleeper that I haven't discussed?
Yeah, it's those teams that were on the screen outside of Canada. I honestly give Canada a bronze medal chance at these Olympic Games because I think if they meet Team USA in the semifinals, which is very likely, the style of basketball that Canada plays is very similar to the style of basketball that all the Americans see in the NBA on a daily basis. It's not going to surprise them. Where Team USA is going to get surprised is playing a team like Greece, playing a team like France, playing a team like Germany that does not have that one-on-one style of basketball. It's more of a team sort of environment. And a great shooting night, it's over, right? Like, you have one great shooting night in a one-game scenario, it is over. We saw that last summer, really, in the World Cup of basketball, and Team USA fell to Lithuania. Team USA fell to teams that they shouldn't lose to because they got hot from three-point range, and that was it. So I expect that to be the case here in the Olympic Games. I would watch out for that second game, or the quarterfinals game that might trip them up, because they'll see a team that would be hot and have confidence in themselves. So be careful about betting Team USA in that quarterfinal matchup, depending on who it is. They should still win the gold, but Canada is not the bet. Stay away from Canada.
All right. Tomorrow on the show, Carlan and I will dive into the rest of the basketball action against the spread and take a closer look at that. Let's end real quick on Team USA. Team USA gets spanked by France. I don't think that was a surprise. Some people thought, in terms of the line, maybe it'd be 1-0 or 2. It was even 3. So, 3-0 is not the way you want to go. Now, they take on New Zealand in the next matchup, and I would assume, Carlan, that they'll have a better chance to beat New Zealand than they did France. But there's been no inspiring soccer being played by Team USA at all recently.
You know what, Craig? I would say that they played really well against France. They got unlucky. They had 9 shots in that game, 3 on target, 2 of them hit the post. And if one of the shots, that Paxton Arneson, that header right on the goal line, if he was able to put that in, that's a 1-1 game. It spiraled from there. You're playing France. Okay. You throw your hands up. That's one of the world-class teams. Now going forward, if they're able to get back on it and play New Zealand tough, I think they'll get back on track. What's very surprising, though, keep your eye on this team, because in 2 years, when the World Cup's here, that is the roster that's eventually going to be representing the United States. So, a lot of positives going forward if they can get that win against New Zealand.
Yeah, minus 140 coming up this weekend. All right, Carlan, thanks again. Really appreciate it. We'll talk again tomorrow.
Thanks, Rick.